Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. What was that?
Child, it's Tuesday.
Just froze.
The song?
It's your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go and go and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy and go crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. Go 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 crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is OOO City. All the way to the bay, hear the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. Mix a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the friends. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to
Cause the buzz and turn the club up. They tear the rugs up soon as we turn the subs up. Everybody hands high like a drug bust. Yeah, I'm from dubs up. Baptize him on the spot, fill the tubs up. I fraternize with the flocks, tell them fill the cups up. The show though, original, the type is proto. I go, crazy, crazy, yeah. Yeah. Represent the Ocho, immerse from the ghetto, put the devil in the mat. Back out, but when they see him.
Mm-mm. Hey, family. What's going on, everybody? We hope you enjoyed our chopped and screwed version of our intro music this evening. If you hung with us through that, we appreciate you very, very much. Lord have mercy. But what's going on, good people? It is 8:05 and it is time for another Scoop Show. And we are so glad that you are able to tune in with us on this evening. We are back in our normal position, so I'm feeling a little more comfortable now that we back home. For those of you who joined us over on YouTube last week, much appreciated. You all came through for us, and we ended up having an amazing show. So shout out to y'all for traveling with us on last week. But that is one of the reasons why we always make sure that we share the many, many ways that we get this here show to you so that you can make that quick switch, because sometimes technology does what technology tends to do, especially at 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening. So we were super appreciative that you all were able to join us over on YouTube last week.
What is going on today?
All right. I'm gonna keep it moving just until Win tells me otherwise. Yeah, we gonna let him do it. Your face had me concerned there for a second. I'm like, we good? Anyway, so like I said, we do this every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And for those of you who are new here, I see already we got a couple new folks in the room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you would go ahead and get comfortable and drop your city and state in the comment section for us, if you would. Please and thank you. That is our way of saying what's up, how you're doing as you come on in here and get comfortable. So hit us with that city and state if you would, please and thank you. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that share button for us, please. Go ahead and let the folks on your main line know where you are going to get your scoop on this evening. Let them know this is where you're going to be chopping it up with some cool folks, and they are welcome to come on over and join the conversation with us, okay? Because if they're your people, we more than welcome them to become our people, all right? We want to know what they think as well. And we also know that this can be a busy time of the evening, okay? It is 8 o'clock here in the O, and if you are, wherever you might be landing on this evening, it's still busy time, okay? No matter what your time zone is, this is the time where things are going down, and we understand that you might not be able to stay with us the entire time, and for that reason, and for technical reasons, we want to hit you with the many ways you can tap in with us when you cannot stay the entire time. We got that good replay for you. We got a good audio option for you. We got a good conversation only. We out here with options, okay? So this screen right here, go ahead and swipe left or right, whatever your device requires to get that good screenshot, and then share this into your group chat. Let your mom and them know this is where you get your information from, your thought-provoking conversations. And you can follow us on all the social media for our replays and conversation topics. On YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. And for those of you who are listening at work, getting your walk on, your workout on, you're just not able to get the visuals in your peripherals, okay? And you are listening on SoundCloud. Hey, SoundCloud, you can tap in on at The Scoop Show on SoundCloud and get your audio on with us at The Scoop. All right, so go ahead and save that to your device and share that with your people now. Please and thank you. It's a wonderful show that we love doing every week. It's also brought to you by you, okay? We often like to say you are our third and fourth co-host and so on and so forth, and we do that with a little something that we call straight out of the inbox, okay? So whenever you see this familiar graphic with the hashtag straight out of the inbox and a conversation attached, go on and tap in for us, okay? That is your bat signal, okay? That is your chat signal. Come on in and tell us what you think. That's straight out of the inbox is your chat signal that we are calling you into the room, and we want to know what you have to think about whatever we rattled off in the top. All right. And if you have something that you see while you are here in these internet streets, while you are scrolling and perusing and doing all that you do, and it's intriguing, it's got you lost in the sauce, gone, just take a pause. I'm not telling you to leave. Just take a pause. Let us join you. Okay. Go ahead and slide that link into our inbox. Go ahead and tag us in and say, hey, this let's talk about this. We need to talk about this. We are us. Okay. You don't need to say less, fam. We need to talk about this. Share, boom. All right, we got you. So whenever you see straight out of the inbox, or whenever you see something that needs to be straight out of our inbox, go ahead and share that with us, and we will make it happen. Okay.
Absolutely.
Also, if you enjoy all of the wonderful agenda and this wonderful personalities that you get here between the wonderful Panda and I, you want to see us do more, see more, interview more, do more of what we do each week, go ahead and tap in with us on Patreon. We offer 3 different tiers of opportunities for you to support us with our half scoop, full scoop, and double scoop ranging from $5, $10 to $25. And for these different tiered support levels, you receive Patreon only updates in our private community, Patreon only live streams. You get 20% off branded merchandise, early access to event tickets, Scoop Nation shout outs during our weekly shows, and double scoop only events, such as our upcoming Scoop of Sex and private interviews. So if you're trying to go ahead and show a little more love than a good share and some comments, go ahead and tap in with us on Patreon by searching The Scoop, and we will love you long time. We will love you long time. All right. How are you, bro? How's this Tuesday treating you? What's going on, sis?
Busy. Good.
Good.
Busy, can't complain. Of course, got a lot going on. Still trying to, be somebody pastor.
Yes.
Still
Trying to be somebody pastor. Or somebody pastor. Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep my house together, keep my family together, normal stuff. Normal stuff, but it's been good. I really haven't. I have no complaint. The post I made last week about having men having mentors. Like,
oh yeah, that was a good one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's real. So
how quick
I don't know if you see,
for you.
Yeah, did you see Daryl O'Neal is engaged now?
No. Okay.
I said, whoa.
Congrats.
Well, they not playing. Yeah. So he did it Sunday. In front of the church, got on one knee. I said, get it, sir.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Well, congratulations to Sir O'Neal and his future bride. That's beautiful.
Yeah, good. How you doing?
I'm well. It's been this past weekend was busy. But it was doable, and it was still good, but I have been crashing. Huh?
Yeah, how was the show? So y'all, for the record, usually Q and I get to have a whole lot of conversation before the show, but we both been so busy we haven't. So tell me about the show too. I want to hear about this.
The show went well. The show went well. It was a modified show. Like, I will say that, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It was a modified show, but it was a good show. And still, I can't say that Back to My Roots will do more encore shows. This is something that you got to get the first time around. And it's just because the entire energy of the packed room, everyone, it's just one of those things best served hot once. So,
the only usually I see a lot of videos, but the only ones I saw this time were like on Eunice's page.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, you have to remember though, a lot of the Back to My Roots models have been modeling with us since they were literally like freshmen and have grown up with us. So a lot of our girls have traveled. They're in school out of state. So they quite a few of them like traveled here for the show, and that's the one day you don't turn around 30 days and do that again. So like that's why I said there was modifications made. There was and people aren't going to come again after that. So that's just the way customers work. So it's one of those times. That's why we say every year we say it. And I think sometimes people think there's just like a marketing thing that we do. Get your tickets. It's gonna sell out. It's gonna sell out. Like we be playing, but like it's for real. Like it's important that you get your tickets and you get there and be in that room and enjoy that energy and all of that talent that comes together for these shows is just so amazing. But to know that even with all of that being said, I can still feel pride in what we put on and the people that did showed up. It was not an empty house. We still had a decent turnout and we still put on a really good show, but Y'all know I ain't gonna tell no stories. It will, if you weren't in there, that was one for the books, and be in the room. You'll have to be in the room.
Yeah.
We do auditions November
Yeah.
19th for the next annual show for the February show. So if you are interested in auditioning for the February show, you want to be at Ice Event Center at between 9 and 12 p.m. on Saturday, November 19th.
Cool. Yeah,
And shout out to me for those
um,
details, because I can't remember. I remembered those details. the date, the time, and all that off the top of
yeah,
my head.
I know.
Right.
So tell the people why, because I mean, I don't think people recognize the amount of stuff you do. Like, I think they think, you know, like I
What
think
do you
when somebody leave, like your weekend is busy. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
so
think that the conceptualization of what it mean all of goes into the life of Q on a weekend, because that's, you do a lot. You
I
do
do.
a lot.
I do a lot, and I'm working on balancing things, but this is go time. So in a way, it's just gonna be what it is, and I've kind of come to grips with that. But you all know I work my 9 to 5. But on the weekends, I also braid and do hair, the pictures and things that you might see me post if you follow me on my socials. That happens on the weekends. So often I'm up no different than during the week. Early. And I spend
Early.
my weekends out at the shop, also, like, that's when the kids, like Maya's in choir right now. This is her choir season. So like this past weekend she also had auditions for Allstate. She made first round. She goes to second round in 2 weeks. So woohoo to Maya. Woo-hoo. So she had to go to auditions for that. So I went back to my roots rehearsal at 8. Left that at 9 to go pick Maya up to drop her back off at 10:45 at the school. And listen, Maya goes to the high school, right? They were meeting at the middle school. Why did this child let me get down the street from the doggone high school before she looks over at me and says, "Mom, it's the high school"? I just say, it's the middle school. I say, why would I think it was the middle school? Like, thankfully, we had time to get where we were going. You know, she was before the bus pulls off or whatever. But I was thinking to myself, girl. So yeah, had to do that. Then get back to the show. Show was at 2. That ends at 4. She's back at 6. Nasia had a Halloween party. Listen, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to James. He handled the evening, the pickups, and the Halloween parties, because I crashed. I have been crashing ever since. The day gets done and Mama is done right along with it. Yeah, but that's kind of what
I think a lot of people don't recognize the amount of stuff that we like when it's go time, busy season, what that means, and then the sacrifices families have to, our families have to make, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people often recognize that. So I'm glad you said shout out to James, because I know he be right there with you, doing this thing too. So that's what's up. And I mean, same thing. Like this weekend, it was basketball camp, so it's basketball camp for Josiah in the morning. It's then we like literally rushing in, hurrying up, changing clothes, going to a wedding, coming like. And I still got to get ready. I got to get up in the morning and early in the morning on Sunday and do what I got to do. Like, and then so just to watch how, like, when I come in after church on Sunday, I'm passing out. Like, I'm literally driving home trying to stay awake. I'm that tired. So I get home, she give me the look like good night. Nap. That nap turned. What can you say? He says nap turned into a slumber. Mine turned into a slumber.
And that's exactly what it's been. That's exactly what it's been.
Yeah. Then I wake up and like Jamie's already got stuff done. So I'm like, that's dope. So yeah. So shout out to the busy weekends.
Man, it makes it
got
all
to-
go. That's what go time looks like. That is what go time looks like.
Yeah, it is. So
Mhm.
anyway, all right. We just like I said, we hadn't get a chance to catch up.
No, we haven't. We haven't had our chat. We haven't had our pre-show. Like it's been busy.
Like usually Monday and Tuesday we back and forth. And then I'm like, yesterday I was like, I think I sent you I was like, I don't think I sent her the topics or nothing. I was like,
No.
oh.
And then
they
you
just
sent
gotta
me,
wait.
"How are you today?" like 2 days ago, and I think I looked at it and was halfway on my way out, and I was like, "I'm gonna start this conversation, and it's gonna take 40 days and 40 nights for his ass to see it." So I mean, by the time he replies, I'm gonna be in a dead sleep. So I left it sitting right there. Y'all, the internet be going against me and win. I will send him a message, like he will send it at 7:01. I see it at 7:01 and a half and reply at 7:02. And it was that little bubble will stay with the circle unfulfilled. That is the feeling that sits there with me. That just limbo circle for like hours sometimes. And he will show active and everything. And I'm like, hell, by the time he come back to answer me, I done forgot what I was even talking about. I don't even remember it. So now I just say everything I gotta say. And when he gets to it, he's got like 15 individual messages, and I'm like, he'll get it when he get it. It's just
Yeah. I'm like, man, she had a lot to say, and I remember, oh yeah, no, that's it.
I had time to think about it.
No.
I had time to think about it. Come back. You know, by the time you get it, it is exactly what I meant to say. I didn't have a chance to unsend, resend, edit.
In the process spell check. Okay,
Yeah. Never mind. I don't even think that no more. Thank you. Like, thank you for talking that through with me.
I'm like, you're welcome.
Sometimes you literally just need the safe space to just get it.
Usually I just hit the heart button. That's it. Got that out. We got that clear.
Yep.
I do
Good
the same
talk.
thing. Yeah,
Good talk.
I do the same thing. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
After I type something, I'll be like, I just needed to type that out. Okay, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Sometimes that's all it is.
Yeah, type that out. All right. Let's jump into these topics for tonight. KG, what's up?
What's going on, bro? Hey, sis. What's up,
yeah.
Shatoria?
What's up, Shatoria? I saw Kelly Kia earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Who else are we missing? I think we got everybody who commented.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into these topics. Oh, before we jump into the topics, of course, we got to start by giving our condolences. So we found out this morning that last night, 28-year-old Migos member.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, just said Offset. It's not Offset. It's Takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
Was shot in Houston at a dice game. And so yeah, we definitely want to say condolences to his family, to the family, and to all who know and love him. And yeah, I mean, that was sad. That was very difficult news to listen to, especially given some of the details. And then some dun-dun-dun, of course, decided to post a picture on Instagram.
I'm thankful I haven't seen that, but I did see the outrage about it, and I share it. That is, our TMZ also shared it. I saw a couple posts that said that TMZ may have also shared that photos like that or that particular photo, which is disgusting. We have got to stop that. Like, we've got to. I think I did not confirm it. Like I said, I saw some people post that they were also disgusted that they shared it, but I have not gone to confirm it because, again, I'm trying to limit, since Philando Castile's murder on video, I have limited on purpose my visual consumption of those types of images. But
so they have a video on their page. They have a video of the argument. So I ain't gonna even click on the video, but it might be on there.
Yeah.
So
Because I heard there was video, I heard there were images. There's been all kinds of different rumors going, which is why I really don't have much to offer aside from condolences, because there's not a lot of detail surrounding, all of what exactly happened. I just know this is tragic for the community, for the music industry, for, like Wynn said, the family, the fans, those who loved him. And if you read some of the articles, he was the coolest, calmest member of the group. There's been a lot of chatter here recently because they had recently been going through some things as far as a group is concerned, and they're also family. So this is hitting different in lots of different ways for the fans who have been following that, and now to add this to it, in addition to those members of the actual family. From what I've seen, Offset hasn't said anything. Quavo was also injured, I believe. He was not fatally injured, but I believe he might have been also injured in the happenings of last night. So also prayers for him and anyone else who may have been injured in that. But there haven't been any statements, last I heard, prior to us going online, made by him or Offset in this. But I can only imagine that they are. I wouldn't want statements from them. I hope the statements being made from them right now are between them.
yeah.
And they are with each other and trying to heal and take care of each other. Like, we can wait.
Yeah, we don't actually. I ain't never got to say nothing to us. To be honest,
Yeah, like real, like
this is y'all. This is family. Like,
yeah. And for the timing of this to be what it is, and to look at Offset's his Instagram last night and Cardi's, and to see that they were like doing trunk or treats with babies, and to know that, as frustrating as it is to know that they were in conflict, but to know that if under other circumstances, it could have been him too there.
Yeah.
In the midst of all of that, and how much worse all of this could have been if, you know what I mean? So it's just so much to look at from our spot, the outside looking in, and to know this is also thoughts that this family is having.
Yeah.
So many.
Mike asked the question, I think that's similar to what a lot of people are asking, is why do rappers think they are still normal people after they have been successful? I've heard that a lot, and I've actually had a conversation today similar to that. Yeah, and that's the question. I think that most people don't. I think it's a couple of things. I think most people don't really think that, first of all, that it's going to happen to them, because in that space, because we cool, everybody cool. Like, I don't have no beef. I mean, like, I don't think that a lot of times people recognize that when you are famous in any way of the word, if you're famous or more popular, then people in the room are going to have something to prove. They think they got something to prove by doing something with you. I don't think you typically think that like that. Plus, I think we all know, like, the people we come up with, we want them to enjoy, or the place we come up with, we want them to enjoy the fruit of our labor. So you don't go back to a place like that thinking something's gonna happen. You're going back there thinking, hey, these are just people I'm cool with, and I want to have fun and hang out. Not thinking that everybody there is not a fan. Everybody there is not a friend. There are legitimately people there who are looking for the opportunity to harm you. And you can have, like in this instance, really good security, and or have security. I don't want to say good or bad because I didn't see it, but you can have security and something bad still happens. So I think there's always, and then I think there's that, we've had this talk a lot too. There's the difficulty with separating yourself from your place of origin or from your people of origin. Like we've had conversations often about how when seasons change and elevation happens, we know that there are certain people who can't go with you anymore. And that is I think that a lot of people misunderstand that also includes there are places you can't go anymore too, because those places, just like those people from that previous season, they don't serve you and you're no longer safe in those around those people or in those places anymore. So I think that's hard for us sometimes to conceptualize, because we still want to be cool, be down, we still want to be hang out, but it's like I can't hang like that anymore because now, and I've said this to people, like I have too much to lose at this point. So there are certain things I can't do, or there are certain places I can't go. And now I'm coming into the for me personally, coming into the space where there are certain things I can't even eat. Like I have to train myself, like I can't eat like that no more. So now I got coconut milk ice cream with no sugar in it.
Yeah.
I have to train myself to eat different. Like, I mean, I think that's just how that's a different mindset that we don't always know that when that shift happens that we got to make that move too.
Today I've seen many posts, and I'm sure it won't be the end, but there have been many people asking the same question. And then there have been people who have in ways answered that with questioning why we're wondering why this man shouldn't have been able to go to a dice game without this happening. Meaning it's a bigger issue of crime and us not being able to handle our drama without resorting to violence, which I would agree is very much a part of this issue. That issue, in my opinion, did not just create itself in that room, in that dice game.
Correct.
That is something that we have known has been an issue with our people for quite a while now, which is why there is the need for and the understanding of some that once you reach a certain level of notoriety, fame, fortune, whatever the case may be, you move different. There is an expectation that for your safety, you now must move different. That is to keep you alive, not to stunt, not to, be one more level away from the little people or anything like that. That is literally because we live in a space where we are not, overall, there is a group of people who is not able to handle that for all of the reasons that you just mentioned. So there is a level of responsibility that that comes with all of that other access that comes. Like, so I know it's safe. I mean, it's not safe. It is understandable for people to ask, why were you even there? Why were they even there? You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily blaming someone. That's a question that it's a valid question. Not saying that it makes it any more right that it ended the way that it ended, because also we've seen that it was an accidental. So he wasn't even in the actual confrontation, just in the room. But that too is something that we also know could happen in situations that are known for getting a little out of hand. And with non-famous people, those types of environments can become extra really, really quickly. So while we all know what could and should be, we also know what is. And I think we can't allow celebrity to remove us again from the reality that we very much live in. And especially when we cannot allow the celebrity, the desire that we have to be in that world, allow us to blur our minds of what our world still very much is. So when they cross over into our world, back into the normie town, those are normie town rules that you are playing by. So if you don't bring your appropriate normie town folks with you, there's some normie town stuff that happens. So we can't forget that, because celebrity, and expect that it
doesn't work like that.
That's not how that works.
It's not work like that. And I think that's part of the translation. Because even in my conversation, that's what I said, I said that same thing. Like, that's not even necessarily a celebrity thing. That's just a reality thing. Because like I said, I'm not famous.
But certain places I don't go.
But at some places I
know what goes on over there. It ain't even a matter if I'm at this level and I don't have that to risk. It's because I'm human
Yeah.
And I like my life, and that ain't where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
If I like the odds of keeping it,
I think you also gotta say, but then when you have some status, you gotta also recognize that's another
that raises
another
that.
level.
Yes.
That's another level.
Yeah. But still, I said that's a whole other conversation, and is necessary, but not necessarily what we were trying to do for this. We still can, the fact remains is Takeoff is no longer with us. And that is tough at 28 years old to know that. And we have to figure this out, y'all. Because it's bigger than even that little conversation we were just having. We've got to figure he is one of far too many.
Yep. We've got way too many young people that are leaving us too early. Mm-hmm. Like he's a young, well, too many people leaving us too early. Definitely, yeah. Mm-hmm. So 28 is
far too young.
He just started living. He just started to live. So again, praying for his family, praying for our community that we do the things that we need to do to stop. That we have the change of heart that's necessary for us to even realize just the internal, the external, the familial, the community impact that is had when somebody does it. I don't think if a person really understood that they are impacting communities, generations, that you could really just be like, take somebody's life. Like, it's just not that. And then what it's going to do for not just to his, but to yours and to your family, to your parents, to your uncles and aunties. Like,
and that's that emotional piece that we've got to continue that conversation beyond these situations.
Right. Yeah.
So that we can actually begin to do something outside of a trauma response mode.
Yeah. It starts with just the way that we treat each other. Like, just the norm, the humanity that we should see in each other and give to each other. Like, start there.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right. Donald Trump.
Ciao.
Go from that to Donald Trump. All right. So as you all know, maybe you don't know, this last week, Tesla founder and CEO Elon Musk has officially taken ownership of the good Twitter. And one of the first things and we just checked, he has not officially done, but is in the works, is talking about reinstating the account of our 46th president, Donald J. Trump. And Twitter world has something to say about it. So I'm interested to hear, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on is this fragility, of the public, or is free speech being attacked?
Yeah. Because the questions are because top companies are threatening to pull their ads on Twitter if and when Elon reinstates Trump's accounts.
Yeah.
Which, as far as him reinstating the account, it is what it is. He's been off for a while. I'm not surprised if he does, because he's always been team free speech. Elon has also been known to get into a couple heaps of trouble with some of the things that he himself has said. So he's no stranger, and probably, sympathizes very much with the Trumps and yays of the world, that are going through this. As far as ad companies pulling their partnership with Twitter, I also think That's also fair, and not at all a shock to me. I think that while Twitter is huge and reaches a lot of people, there's also a huge amount of people that are not on Twitter, and that's a lot of cross promotion that happens. So it's not really I wouldn't say it as a loss. If anything, that's a redistribution of ad dollars if they did decide to pull, and possibly a gain coming, especially for those who are perfectly fine with a Trump-free Twitter, and are behind them in that statement. I don't really think it's fragile. Free speech is free. Like, you can say what you want, like that is what it says, but the taxes associated with said free speech is what we're seeing take place. No, those consequences hit. And just because you said it doesn't mean everyone has to allow you to continue to say it on their platforms, or support the platforms that allow said speech to take place. So, I agree. I'm team free speech too, but I'm also fully aware that when you take those leaps, there are potential consequences for them, and that could be what could happen here. And if I'm thinking, if this reaches enough, because this is while it's election season, this is also ending determination season as far as contracts are concerned. This seems to be in the water right now. So I'm wondering, with the new acquiring of Twitter, if we lose all of these ad dollars, are we prepared to who's replacing them, and what does that do to the numbers as far as Twitter is concerned?
Good question. I wonder what he paid for it. I mean, like, per share, because if he's bought, I can't remember how much it was when he bought it, but anyway, yeah, I'm sure he has an expectation of, if he does this, that some people will do that, but also taking into consideration long term how this will affect them. So if I do it now, does it hurt me? Is it okay? And then as I go into
back
year, do I? Yeah. So I'm very interested in doing that. I haven't done that research. My cousin did send me something very interesting, and he's in social media marketing, and he made the comment that he doesn't think it's possible, because when a lot of these companies sign up for these types of advertising, they fill out, I forgot what he called it, but they basically pay for it. They sign a contract saying they will advertise for a certain amount of time, and they base the contract based on that. And that if they do that, they would have to pay some heavy penalties.
Okay.
And so I was like, that's very interesting. And if that's the truth, then if they're not willing to pay that heavy penalty, then does that mean that they are, does it mean they're willing to pay that heavy penalty, or are they saying they wouldn't renew their contract when the current one was done because of that? So, yeah, I'm like, this is.
And I wonder what stipulations that puts on what type of ads they get to run while on that platform. Because if they pull a artist formerly known as and use Twitter solely as their protest platform, so to speak, if that is what locks them in, since that's also what's catching right now, we're standing on tables and knocking ish over. We're knocking all this shit over on our way out, that could make things very, very interesting, since we are now dealing with our contracts out in the open and letting the people decide how contracts are negotiated, which I'm not really a fan of. I think we not fully a fan of, because I think that gives a lot of laymen's, a lot of regular folks, a lot of misconceptions about how business really should run, meaning, because that's a whole nother topic.
Because it's a lot of emotional stuff as opposed to.
Yes, instead of just doing good business and handling it and doing what you're supposed to. But I'm just looking at our current temperature, and I could see a business completely using that as a strategy to try and finesse their way out.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if that's good, for a business, or what we would see happen to advertising if that were to happen.
I just don't see that happen. I don't see. I could see a company using it for, um, like promotional value. Like
Mhm.
I wanna, you know what I mean? Like I want to just, just to make it look like they're a bluff, but or to say, listen, hey, this is what my people are saying. And if you lose me and these many people, then it'll be problematic for your business because we'll attach this to your business. But outside of something like that, I just don't see. Like, give us our money. You done already said this is how much you're gonna pay me. Pay my money. And if
Mhm.
you choose not to
Mhm.
re-up with me next year, some crazed whatever wing business is gonna come along and figure it out. Or I'll just drop the price. I'll drop the price of my advertising for a little bit. Let all of these small businesses come in here who want to advertise but can't afford it. I'm gonna make it so they can afford it, add more volume, and then take your business somewhere else.
Yeah. Lots of ways that this could go. It's a crazy, crazy time out here right now. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy time.
And
We
to my
seeing
point,
things we have never seen before.
just like Mike said, right when time.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You think that wasn't strategy? You think that wasn't? Yeah. Completely agree with you, Mike. Completely. Yeah.
Because this is a ploy to get some
Mhm.
votes too. So
But I also was, as we were checking into the confirmation or non about Elon, the reinstatement of the account, I came across something that I think was on Reuters. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, or if that's a super solid site or not. But they were mentioning that even if he is reinstated on Twitter, Trump is going to stay with his Truth Social. He's still riding behind his own social media site right now. Like he's not putting all of his ad eggs back in Twitter's basket, which is smart.
yeah,
I
I
think
don't
he
blame him.
learned a good lesson and good job on that because
Listen, he learned a lesson we learned last week. When one doesn't work, you need to have
you
someplace
need
else.
a backup and you need to be
No,
just as strong, if not stronger, on said backup so
yeah.
that it's an easy transition for your people.
Yep,
Yeah.
same thing. Who is that? Same thing. People on Instagram just found out because that Instagram was having issues today with I forgot how many, but it was like several million accounts just like got deactivated.
Oh, word. No, I didn't
Yeah,
know. Y'all know I do good to be on Facebook. So like I do not have a Twitter. There's an Elegance by Design on Twitter
yeah.
that probably posted 4 or 5 years or so ago. And it was a retweet from probably Facebook or Instagram.
That's
But
when you can do Twitter to Instagram or
yeah, but see,
Instagram to
they can't
Twitter.
do that no more there. That was the last time I was on there when you could do that. But and then Instagram, I'm better, but not much better on Instagram. I prefer the platform where words can be used
A
and
plethora,
they're
a plethora.
preferred. Like you can just word it. No, so, so I have I have a trim Trump access for me anyway. I wasn't caught up in all that extra stuff that he did when he was on Twitter, but more power to him if he does come back. If he does decide to balance that out, may the force be with y'all.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with our good brother Kanye,
Yeah.
because his got deactivated.
Mm-hmm.
So does he get his back too, or are we gonna not?
Most likely, especially because I don't see he doesn't have a Truth Social to go to, and he has lots and lots to say. So I can't see why he wouldn't, because that would also get him the most bang for his buck for making these moves right now, and him meaning Elon in this. Like, why going through all of this headlines and he's gonna do the thing, he's gonna bring him back, and then like nobody either wants to come back or comes back. You know what I mean? Like womp womp. He doesn't want that. So I absolutely see that being next. You're gonna strike that iron while it's hot, no matter what that smoke might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you write it out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I also, wait, there's more. We say that, but we also have to think about the reasons why he was removed. And is it going to be worth it for him being new in this position with the fact that they were already like, all right, man, like, all right. And he bring him back when that iron is as hot as it is.
right.
Is he going to be able to capitalize on that because of all of what is going on around him? Is that going to be as smart a move overall? That's putting a lot on public opinion
It is.
when it comes to actual factual dollars. That's that's writing a lot on what people got to tweet.
That's writing a lot on one person's opinion.
Who's already on. Yeah, but what I mean, like, the strength, that's one person's opinion, but the strength of those supporting that one person. Yeah. You're hoping that that's going to be enough to ride the wave of whatever professional, corporate backlash, stakeholder, opposition backlash you might get. You're hoping that that's going to be enough to hold you through, and that it won't get worse in whatever realm worse happens to be on that level. Of play.
We're gonna find out.
We shall see, honey. Because every day it is something new.
Yeah,
every day.
He didn't he apologize? He apologized. He apologized for the George Floyd comment.
He said words that some would put together like an apology, but
okay. No. Yeah, I heard the George. I just saw the headline. He apologized for George Floyd, and he apologized for his anti-Semitic. I have yet to hear
it was an I'm sorry, but
okay.
And what's interesting, I wonder, has anyone else noticed the different voice dialects that we are getting here recently?
From him?
There's a very proper, over enunciating, totally different sounding person that shows up in support of the red leaning things, the when we were talking about why he made the comments and all of that, there was a very, well, I'm sorry that I offended and may have made some people feel some type of way. Like there's this type of tone and the way the words, the cadence is coming, and like, who is this guy? And then when you hear the audio this morning of the apology to George Floyd's family and those things, still not the Ye that we know, but it's a more relaxed, it's a more, I'm talking to and I'm gonna be calm. And I was like, are you? I literally was like, do you hear this? Did you? Because just 2 days ago we're hearing, and I'm going, who is this dude? Like, I cannot be the only person who is catching this tone, and this voice is the way the words are said, everything is totally different. And I understand playing a role, but like, it's like a whole other person starts speaking. And then now this thing is totally different.
What was, because I know he's got some diagnosis.
So he's been diagnosed that we know of bipolar disorder is what I understand. Yes. But yeah. And I'm not trying to add no other diagnoses to it.
No.
I'm just saying, if you listen to the audios, something is different. And I'm like, either where are we where we're not noticing that this is not the code switch voice that's happening? It's like a whole other, how we have our bill collector voice and then we have our when your mama call voice, like it's different. Yeah. This is not what this is. This don't sound like what this is to me. It's weird.
Something's wrong.
It's weird. It gave me goosebumps the first time it really clicked that that was who the audio was of. I was like, So, if I find it, because I'll see if I can find it and share the link with you. But it definitely stood out to me. And for someone who pays a lot, listen to a lot of audiobook podcast, those types of things, I can be hearing something and not pay, and not that there's a difference. There's a difference. And especially when hearing the new audio where he's talking to us.
Yeah.
It's totally, that's what made it really stand out to me. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to say this to somebody else that's not in this car. Like, I couldn't quite picture. I didn't have anything to compare it to, really, you know, until then. But yeah, that didn't settle right with the spirit. Yeah, I'm gonna
check it out. Okay,
we're gonna see about all of it because these are uncertain, and exciting-ish times for how these things are playing out, and it's election season,
And it's election season. And we got, speak before we move forward. Did you hear Jamal Bryant's dismantling of Herschel Walker?
No, but I'm here for anybody dismantling that man. What is dumbass?
I'm gonna sit. Listen, now I'm gonna say he dismantled. I was like,
good.
I mean, I was like, I don't know if this your sermon? Like he went. I was like,
oh, so this was in the pulpit. This wasn't him
in the pulpit.
Is his church in Georgia?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Okay, well then, I mean, hey, all's fair, because that man is everywhere, and they're gonna try their damnedest to put that man in that Senate seat.
And that's what. Listen,
by any means necessary, they're gonna try and put him in there.
I didn't, and I don't. He says, I'm not that he didn't even live in Georgia.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He said they moved him from Texas to Georgia to run. I was like, really?
Ooh, it sounds like Texas. That probably that tracks. That tracks.
I mean, this mantle here. I'm sending it to you right now. Actually.
Okay. Yeah. And you know, Pastor Brian will be the one that'll do it. He will be the one to, what is it, my grandmother, untie your goats and let them run free. That he will be the one that will do it. He will be the one.
Oh, I said,
because it's so crazy, because they've told us that we don't care. We want him in. It's about the numbers. It's a numbers game. He's gonna do what we tell him to do anyway. Obviously, look at him. Like, he ain't finna get be in his bonnet where all of a sudden he gonna start in here writing policies and executive ordering Georgia today. Like, that's not what he's. However, whatever power he gonna do, hey, he's gonna have. He's gonna wield it at our whim. They know that. They couldn't care less what that man is gonna do. They just want him to be able to do it. Get on in here. We'll handle the rest. They don't care.
Yep.
And that's crazy.
It's in your inbox. Okay. I want to say, I'd love to see your face when you watching it. Yeah. You might start clapping.
He drives me crazy. Like, it's just so crazy how, like, this is our politics right now. And, you know, like we've let it get here. And we're bold enough to just say it. Like,
and we don't seem to be going the other way either. Like, we don't seem to be like, hey, something's
only getting worse.
The other way, it's just actually just getting worse.
Maybe that's what's so baffling. Like, because I'm not super surprised that, like, politics can get weird. You know, there's an expectation of a level of scandal attached to politics. But the fact that it's just like, oh, okay. Oh, they're going over there. Oh, way over there. Huh, they way over there. Look at them. Like, we're literally just watching it get further and further away, and I'm like, we ain't gonna reel it in. We ain't gonna rein it in, and got even a little bit. So then now I'm on the other side, still looking at it, going, there they are. I'm just
over there doing that, huh?
Yeah, it's like now we're all just watching each other go further and further. But I just, child,
it's bad.
It's crazy, yeah.
All right.
Wow, down here in the streets.
You ready for the next?
Yeah.
All right. What is the real reason that men step outside of the relationship? Is it simply a choice being made? Are there deeper reasons a person looks outside their relationship?
I don't think it is simply a choice being made. I do think it is a choice that's being made, but I don't think it's a simple choice.
Right.
I think for a certain type of person, or I'll stay on target, for a certain type of man, it is a simple choice to step outside of a relationship. That man is going to step outside no matter what he's doing. But I don't think that is the majority of men at all.
Okay.
So if we are talking about the majority of men, I think if there is a man in that group who does step out, it is not really a simple choice. I do think there are often deeper reasons why a person or a man decides to move outside of their relationship, to seek companionship outside of a relationship. I don't know if one person could come up with a real reason. I think that those reasons vary depending on the man and whatever the thing is that is not being taken care of. Whatever it is that's not being addressed will be the root of his reason. And that will be the choice that he makes. Is this thing big enough for me to choose to do this? But I think sometimes we reduce the emotions of men by just saying, well, because he chooses to, and like having no other conversation to that. I think we as women,
they got to that, help them get to that point.
yeah, and we really miss an opportunity to learn a little bit more when we actually ask with an expectant energy of wanting to learn and not come for when we hear those answers, because it is much for the same reasons we want to be heard. If and when we decide, yeah, it was a choice, but same thing. You know, nobody wants you taking the shame walk when, we only want to take so much accountability for our thing that we've been willing to give to ourselves in those types of situations, but we don't really do that for other people. And that's not always, especially in this one, because hell, we the ones that be getting cheated. So like, why wouldn't we want to pay some more attention if they trying to tell us what's creating the situation?
Right.
Just
because I think the reality is that nobody really wants to own nobody really wants to take full accountability of their action.
No.
I think to hear that your whatever, it wasn't, again, it's a choice at the end of the day, but the continued thing that you did that I've asked you to stop or asked you to change or told you was hurting me, the continued doing it and then not doing the work to repair made me think this was worthwhile to do. Again, and I like how you prefaced it, said this is the majority because there are some who this ain't for. In general, most men do it really because something in their relationship or in themselves is unfulfilled. At the end of the day, whether it is an unfulfilled emotional need, and again, I'm not suggesting that that's all on her, on the woman in the relationship. There's an unfulfilled physical need. There's an unfulfilled feeling of honor and respect. There's the unfulfilled feeling of being heard. And at the end of the day, a man says, you know what? I'm tired of sitting here feeling unfulfilled. Let me go fill up someplace else. And again, and this is not, neither of us are saying this is right, but at the end of the day,
it can very much still be human.
It's very much so. Of the multitude of men that I have spoken to, it boils down to, I wasn't getting this. I asked for this. I think I deserved it. I thought, and I've had to have conversations, especially as, in the counseling arena, where it's like, well, you really weren't. And I've had to have it with myself, my own personal self too.
Yeah.
Like, well, you wasn't really giving what you thought you was giving.
You didn't understand at the time and like you thought.
Let's just be honest. You thought you was giving her the best that you got, and you really
Mhm.
weren't. Like, let's just be honest. But after so long of feeling like that and
That's
of
it.
trying, because a man is human and a man has emotions, and a man does not emote always in the best way, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna find something. We're gonna because we're tired of hurting.
Yep. Yep.
And I think, and you've heard me tell the story of when I went and told my dad that I wanted. I was like, hey, he was like, son, you don't want to get divorced. His comment to me was, you do not want a divorce. You want to stop being in pain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Because you're tired of hurting, so you got to do something. So I got to do something different because everything I done tried ain't working. I'm still in pain. So, and again,
And that feels like
not
a connection.
Yeah,
Yep.
and even if it doesn't feel like it's a connection, it feels like it doesn't hurt. Like
Well,
sometimes
no, I mean
it's
that
not a
feels
connection.
like this thing is what's connecting the pain. I need to connect to something that does not hurt this way. So yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, I think the end at the base of it, that's what it is, and which is why I always tell I tell men, like, at the end of the day, you gotta, if you haven't, you have to say the real reason why you're in pain, and the real thing that you're not saying that she doesn't know. And sometimes you have to tell her exactly what you want her to do to help you not be in pain anymore. Because a lot of times, you say, I feel disrespected. But what does the respect
What does
look
that
like?
mean? What does respect look like? Yeah. What is the
Yeah, first of
difference?
all, what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because she probably thinks as long as she's making you a plate, she bringing you a plate for dinner, she's respect,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
keeping the house clean. But no, that's not what you want. You want something else. So you got to tell her exactly what it is that you need. Tell her exactly why you're in pain. Have the ugly, hard conversation that you don't want to have. That's going to be messy and probably turn into an argument, and she's not going to give you none for a month. If that's what it takes, it's the truth. If that's what it takes. Because I would rather, I told the man, I would rather you not get some for a month than for you, so then you can have the next 5 years happy. Because once she gets it, and if she cares for you, she gets what you're saying, she will adjust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She will adjust. Just like vice versa. If the shoe on the foot, if you care for her, she tells you it's hurting, you're gonna make her because you want to see her happy, and you understand that her being fulfilled is makes her better, and it makes the environment around you better. So that's really
and that's without doing and it feels the same. But from a woman hearing a man share those things, it's always interesting to me how we're so quick to shut that down, shut the conversation down, shut the reasons down, shut the feelings down as to why, we reduce them as to, oh, those are excuses. But when you flip them and take gender, it's the same things that we say. It's the same things. And the rare chances that you catch a group of women agreeing that they have participated in that behavior at one point in their time in their lives, and they happen to be honest and share the reasons why, they are often the exact same reasons in male form.
Absolutely.
As to why. So to me, it shouldn't the whole conversation that we are afraid to really have around this. We're willing to completely remove monogamy from the conversation. We are full on having active conversations about, is there really a need for, is this natural? Is this the problem with our relationships? Is this why marriage is no longer, we're like, all of the discussions about why monogamy is not going to work, aside from the thing that could possibly be the reason why.
That's because that requires you to own your ish. It requires for you to. It
The
requires.
alternatives require you to own it with more people.
Well,
So
true,
good
but
luck
you
with that.
know,
You know.
but we're exchanging. Really, what we're exchanging, which we're not going to say, but what we're exchanging is now it's okay that when I am hurt, that I just can ignore you and still get what I want from somebody else who ain't hurt. And I always said, and that's why when men are always having these conversations, I'm like, are y'all crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
look at. I asked the man. I said, so you won't. Instead of one woman telling you she want quality time and she don't like when you do this and she want more of this, now you want 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's like you're not gonna get out of that.
It's
by
only going to get
having
deeper.
polygamous. It's just gonna have more of it,
Mhm.
and like
You
no,
think you don't like
no.
talking about feels now. Imagine when you got 4 feeling women who expect you to feel something different, separate, and somewhat equally special for all of them.
Not gonna happen.
Nah, bro.
So just have the hard conversation. Own, ma'am, own what he is saying. And
Mhm.
say, okay, listen, what I hear you saying is you don't feel respected and you don't. And so, can you tell me the things that I don't do or that I do that make you feel disrespected? And then have that conversation. You don't feel like you're getting enough attention. Okay, but these are the, like, just have the conversation. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to solve it initially
You have
because it
more knowledge than you started with. You have
might
something
take
to
a
move
while.
with. Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of times back to like with you and I, our conversations, sometimes you gonna say it and be like, I just thought about what I said, and that don't make sense.
Yeah, right now.
I said it a bunch of times, like, that was pretty darn selfish. Okay. I just needed to hear myself say that. That was selfish and stupid.
Let me fix
All
that.
right,
Yep.
let me get myself together.
Mhm.
Like, but to have that, own it, like you said, don't shut it down.
Mhm.
Because again, if this is, as I've been saying this a lot, if this is the person you are choosing to do life with, this means this is also the person who you are saying that I am willing to expose myself to the most because I trust that they will care well for the things of the internal, the external things that concern me. They're going to handle me as best as possible. So I have to trust that. And if you can't trust that, you can't enter into a lifelong relationship with them.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
you should not. Not that you can't, but you should not.
You got to work into that. And then if you are, yeah, so true. Like you just have to. This is a phase, and I think it really doesn't matter what age you are. If we have learned nothing, we have learned that we do not have the time to keep playing around with life.
Mm-hmm.
Period. It ain't a wait till you get 40. It ain't a milestone thing. It's a you woke up today. What are you going to do with the day that you didn't do yesterday? Like, what are you going to do with yourself? And when you have these conversations with yourself and with those in your circle and those that you love, those that you are walking, whether it be romantically, business wise, that you are doing this go round with, you have to be willing to have those rough, tough conversations. If we can't handle some words, if we can't give some grace, if we can't give some, yep, you right, or I got you. Like, we got to be able to give just as much as we're willing to get in these situations and be willing to do the work, make the moves, take the action, like, and let it, like, oh, it's
And my thing is, and to your point, if you can't take the words, that's okay. It's okay in the moment to say that hurt.
mhm.
This is how I hear what you're saying, and that doesn't make me feel good, or that doesn't, like I've had stuff said to me, and I'm like, well, that does not only does it not make me like that doesn't even sound like me, and it hurts my feelings that you think this is the type of person that I
Right.
am.
Woo,
But
yeah.
but you have to say that
Yeah.
to work through the possibility of, or you have to get to the point of where it's like, yeah, okay, you're right. I did come to a bad understanding of who you were
Mhm.
when I assumed this or when I thought this. And so that'll help me adjust this, but I still feel that. And so
Yeah.
we still got to get to the fact that I feel disrespected.
Right.
I
And what I
feel-
meant by more we got to get through the words was we are avoiding having the conversations, but are fully comfortable acting out the feelings that we're not speaking on. So
Mhm.
like we are removing love, adjusting love, being like we are adjusting how we show up for people and with people without giving the explanations for that, without having that foundation for it, and wondering why these relationships aren't getting better, or they're stagnant, or they're not showing up how we expect them to, because these people are not aware of all of the variables at play here to even be able to act on them. So the same move that you're making, they're countering in a lot of ways. But until we have this conversation to express, hey, I don't like it when you do, and you, well, why are you doing this thing? Well, because you're doing it. We realize a lot of the time when at the root of it all, there is misunderstanding. We are missing the opportunity to have understanding.
Yep.
And that's what I mean by like, we've got to be able, like, if we can have all this chit chat about all this random stuff, we should be able to find some courage.
Absolutely.
To have some conversations about the things that we're acting out to the people we're reaching out and touching.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree with you. We had no comments on that one, huh?
You got real quiet.
Y'all think you're right. Y'all ain't comment on that one.
Mm.
Mike had his comment. That's it.
Which is okay. That one might be one to chew on in our Dre voice. You might need to chew on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that we've got to. I think that we've got to. And I appreciate. Because I posted a question last week on purpose, talking about I using almost a very similar thing, but doing it from a woman's perspective, and the responses, of course, were
totally different.
And I'm like, so we get this, we just don't get it when it comes from a man, because the expectation is that it's almost as if most men will tell you that it's almost as if it feels like we're supposed to take whatever you give and not respond. Like we're supposed to take it, be able to, do whatever and get rid of it. But if we say something, it's a problem. If we do something, it's a problem. And then over time, like, what do I do with it? Like, what am I supposed to do?
And then when you finally react to it, it's, oh, now you're acting like all the rest of the men that can't keep it together and they cheat.
So I think I appreciate being able to have the discussion and really for men to be able to just say like, hey, men hurt too, deeply, which is the thing I don't think that a lot of people like. Men hurt deeply. So yeah. Sorry, I had a flashback. No, I didn't. I'm kidding.
It's okay. It's a safe place.
I tell anybody when I know what I did. I was sick of it.
Right. I'm like, maybe that's why I talk so freely about it. Cause like, hey, everybody owned up to what they did and didn't understand. There was a full understanding of they did.
Sick of it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Interesting one.
Ooh, yeah.
How do men feel about entering ready-made families? Example, entering into a relationship with women with a kid or kids. As a woman, dating men with kids can be sticky at times. Are men comfortable with blending families, or do they prefer to be in on the recipe from the beginning?
See what I did there? See what I did there?
A blended recipe. That's putting down.
Yep. So this one is interesting to me. It's been the last 5, 6 or so years where I've had some very candid conversations with men about this particular subject. The whole, I don't have any kids. I'm going to now become one with you who has kids. Or I have kids, but I also now have you with all of your kids. And the way men feel about this is not the way I thought. I realize that they're like the men that we spoke about in previous posts. There's a group of men who are team blend all day, that are okay with, they understand that life happens, and just because you may have had a family before me or a life before me, and you are a package deal, bring that boat. I got you, baby. There are some men that are completely fine with that, but there are some men who are absolutely not okay with that. That is in their top like 3 of deal breakers. Period. And are not willing to have very much discussion about it, are very adamant, very passionate about the fact that they have worked really hard to get to this point of their lives and reach the level of success that they have, and to have the level of discipline that they have, and not have any children and all of that. And they want to create a family with a woman who is willing to create his family with him and him alone.
Yep.
I don't see much fault in that. I cannot fault a man for having those thoughts. I think, and it's this is more realistic for a younger man who is dating younger women, or like in his same age, right? Like, this is a younger man's goal, more so than an older. I think it can still happen, but you are slimming your pickings down considerably the older that you get, simply because lifes. But I can't also be like team gas. This is the only way to do it, because like my daddy was one of the men that I spoke about before, who was like, hey, you the package. I love you and them babies, and come on with the boat. I got the boat. Let's bring the baby. You know what I mean? Like, and I had a beautiful life, and have had lots of love, because my mom met a man that was that way. Met and married a man that was that way. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it from both directions. I completely get it.
If a man doesn't want to do it, I get it. I do understand it. I think good luck. Not gonna say good luck, because there's a lot of women out there who don't have children, to be honest. So there's a lot of single women who don't have children. So that's not a. But I think that or their children are older and out the house, especially in my age group.
Right.
So yeah, I just think that if that's what you, like you said, like with your stepfather, I think is if you find the right woman, I think that becomes, or a woman who you really care about, that becomes less of an issue than anything else. But it really depends on the man, what the man wants, where the man is. I think also it has to do with what the situation is, in the sense of like, is the father respectful? What's your relationship like? How do y'all, like, I think that plays a part of it. And then to Mike's point, Mike says it's the thought of someone else's mindset and teaching being in your home. I think, I hear that, but I think that either way, you're going to have to establish your own house. And so in establishing your own house, you're going to have to undo some things, whether it's a baby or whether it's, somebody who's already there, because children come out with certain proclivities. So you just going to have to figure out how to undo some of those, or like, so I think you got to just, there's just a line of respect that's there that you just have to learn how to maintain. And I'm not going to suggest it ain't difficult, but again, I think that when it works well, when you get that routine, when you both gain that, and if you both gain that mutual respect, that actually works well. Because
influence is tricky. Yeah. Influence is a tricky thing, but I think you could similarly see that type of response happen in coaches or pastors or other men of strong influence over children, and they spend large amounts of time with. Sometimes I think we get hung up on titles because our egos can get caught up in them, but we can allow a whole lot of leeway for titles that aren't in our space. But
Yeah.
coaches and leaders of organizations can often encroach and have a lot more influence than parents would probably allow had you strip that title from said person. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I kind of go when it comes to the mindset and that type of, when it talks about, well, that's another man's child. Well, you essentially sit, you know what I mean? Like it's a trade-off that we choose. And that I think becomes a battle that can happen more so with, it's not of the mindset of the child. It can be the mindset of the adults in that situation being able to come to that balance you just spoke about. Is that my woman mind thinking into that? Is that my
That's true, but I was just saying, no, I think you're right, but I was going to say, I think that men equally have a problem with those too. I think that, and I can speak.
I don't know.
I'm gonna speak for.
I've seen some fathers allow some craziness happen. Are you saying like the fathers also agree that craziness is good, or are you? Because I've seen some coaches be able to go way left with the realm of coach, and the dad be like,
sure. That's part of the game.
That's the game. Yeah, that's the game. Like under any other circumstance, you wouldn't allow your child to skip that thing because they got practice, or fail that class and do that. You know what I mean? Because they may, like, there are different, we pick and choose when we allow certain lessons to be,
we choose based upon our understanding of the situation. I hear what you're saying. I think what he's referring to and what I'm referring to are more so the mindset or the control of the home or of the family. Like no other man is going to come and control my house. Whether it's a pastor, whether it's a coach, like he can, because you're the coach, I'm going to let you coach my child. And I understand that a part of coaching my child is you're going to get in his behind when he does something right. But even then, if you get in his behind too much, I'm like, cut that out. That's enough. But I think it's more so of the mindset, like that comes with it. Which, to your point, I've seen some that take it too far too, and we'll let coaches do that. But I think the overall majority of men is like, yeah, this is my house, my domain, I'm the authority in this space. And to have a woman with another man, with another father, with the father, or like in my case, a mother, coming into your home, trying to influence what happens in your home, can be problematic, is what I think he's referring to.
Okay. I can feel that.
Yeah. And it's difficult. But again, and that is true. He's in the sense of when you make that decision to be with somebody with children, you recognize that that's going to be a thing. And sometimes you're just going to have to suck it up and let them have it, because you do. And sometimes, so it's difficult. It can be very difficult. I ain't even lie to you on that one.
I know my daddy they were not fans of the situation in the beginning stages. They cool now, but it was not ideal.
Yeah. A lot of that is you just have to learn how to work together and get over yourself. Really, a lot of it is just get over yourself.
No, but for real, like that's yeah.
There's a lot of times I'm like, I have to do it to myself sometimes, like, get over yourself, sir.
Because at the end of the day, it is what's best for the children. It is supposed to be what's best for the children.
And also the realization that the way somebody else is doing it can be just as good as the way you're doing it, or just as effective. So we all want something best, but your best might look different than mine. But I have to be like, you know what? I have to trust first of all, once I know you want the best, then I have to trust that what you're doing in this moment is that, or we can have that conversation. Like, hey, I don't. What are you doing? What are you doing?
This does not make sense to me. Yeah.
What are we doing? And that conversation has to, should be had. So,
Which all of which our previous statements lead to support. Why some men are like, no, I'd just rather not. Because it's a lot. Like, it is a lot. Nobody ever said that blending was, you're not blending thawed out fruit here. This stuff is
super hard. But again,
it's frozen.
I can say, I said this several months ago. I said that I believe that God brought me Josiah to help me become a better man.
Mm-hmm.
I think God brought Josiah me to help him become a better man.
Yeah.
Not that he wouldn't become one, like his dad does his thing. So that's not, but we are both better because
you are in each other's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Trey is like me. So a lot of stuff I don't have to work because I get Trey a lot easier. Yep. Whereas
you have to train. There's a new level of training, a new level of understanding. There's a new level of grace and love that's there. Like, you want to do it differently because you've already got that love there. Like, I need to figure this out. And that makes it more challenging, but it also makes it that much more rewarding when you do crack that thing and figure it out. Yeah, I feel you. I do.
All right, what else we got? Oh, yeah, here we go. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Shorty is a 10.
She's a 10. But you have to be patient with her because she's never been loved right. Is this the same as seeing the potential in someone? What type of protections should be put in place for the man being patient?
She's a 10, but you have to be patient with her because she's never been loved right. I think this is very much on par with the potential. I think when a woman says they see a potential in someone, they often think they just haven't been given enough such and such. Someone just hasn't supported them enough. Someone just hasn't put them in the right da-da-da. Like, we're always willing to fill in the blank of whatever the awesome sauce that we have is going to all of a sudden help this person become the wonderful. Or once this thing is in place and they have whatever the thing may be, you might not be the carrier of said thing. You know what I mean? That potential will be realized. I think the same thing happens in this particular situation, except love happens to be the awesome sauce. The right kind of love is the awesome sauce. But that whole in and of itself, she hasn't been loved right, is saying this is not going to be you're just going to walk into this warm, glowing orb of pink love that's just going to wrap you all up. It is going to be perfect here going forward just because she's a 10. No, you're going to have to be patient because through some stuff, there's a woman who, when loved correctly, is going to show the F out in loving you back. But to get to her, you're going to have to show her that it's worth it to show the F out on the other side. That's what this says to me. But and which is why I asked the question about the protections that should be in place, because there's limits to this, because a woman who has not been loved correctly is also awesome at sabotaging herself from being loved.
You're preaching. This is the second time Dad almost called you pastor.
This is too, huh?
You talking real good, Pastor.
That I am too, for huh?
That's the one day.
But it's true.
It's the real. I agree. I think I would say, I think that one of the things that I would tell anybody who comes to this realization is first of all, is you have to start with, like with anything else, you have to start with the end in mind.
Mhm.
So if you recognize that she's a 10 and that the issue is that you haven't that she's never been loved right, and so she needs you have to be patient with her. I think you have to recognize, first of all, the areas that she needs your patience in, and also create the appropriate, this is not the right word, but this is the best word I can come up with, the appropriate program to help her get to this 10. So you almost have to turn into like a trainer, like an exercise trainer, like let's work this out, let's build this muscle, and so that you can develop whatever this thing is
Yep.
that is going to help you.
Yep.
The limit to that is, do you have the expertise to do it? Do you have the grace to do it with her? And do you have the system in place, or are you getting filled in another area that helps counter the energy that it's going to take you to coach her up?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, because you're going to extend a lot of energy
A
trying to
lot
do.
in those other spaces. Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
is there something else being done in the relationship, not outside the relationship, in the relationship,
Mhm.
that lets you know, um, okay, either she's getting better, or this counterbalances the energy that is taking me to do this. So it's filling me back up so I can continue to do this.
Right.
Because if that's not in place, you're going to deplete yourself. You're going to exhaust yourself. You're
And
going to
potentially make it much worse because
and then
now we're adding more harm. Yeah.
get hurt, and now she's going to be much worse, right?
Yep.
And then I would say for her, she also has to do things that show that she is improving.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to kind of have to figure out that system that does that. How you communicate that. I communicated very, very analytically, like I'll ask on a level of 1 to 10, where are you at this in this?
Yeah.
That's just,
That is you. That is how you go about things. Yeah.
on the one. I said, listen,
Mhm.
where are we at? I need 10s.
Mhm.
On a level 1 to 10. You at a 6? Okay, what do we need to do to get to a 10?
Mhm.
Let's put this program in place. That's because that's how my analytical mind works. But you have to find that language to help you do that, because the other limit or protection I would put in is, if you find yourself feeling burnt out,
Mhm.
don't be afraid to step back
Yes.
and say, "Hey, I'm tired. I can't do this right now."
Or
Like, not
and comma
in the, but
and
just I need
or
to.
be willing to, if she tells you while working the program, I need a minute. This is a lot right now.
Yes.
I need to step back. That is not a step back from all of everything. I don't want this. It's not the end of the world. It can be, this is new. This is tough.
Right.
This is a little uncomfortable. I see what we're doing here, but I
Mhm.
need a minute.
Mhm.
Let's do some of those other things that we talked about earlier, about you can get filled in those other things, and that's going to help us think. Let's focus on some of those things. I need a little bit of exercise being good at something for a minute, because I feel like I'm sucking at this right now.
Right.
So put me
Right.
back over here, coach. Let's do some of these drills that I can kill it. Like I'm
Right.
killing, like let's do some of these for a
Build my
minute.
confidence up. I need
I
to
need
build my
some more
confidence
confidence,
up.
right? To come back over here and do this thing again. Because I
That's
think a
good.
lot of people assume that being loved correctly at our big ages should be this a wondrous, beautiful, easy, finally type of thing that happens for women. It
And
does.
we looking for it too. We looking for y'all to say that
Yes,
too.
yes, that is a gauge. That is the gauge of satisfaction and that I'm in. But that you have to think, if a woman gets to this big age in operating at a 6 level, 7, 8, and 9, while exciting, that tummy drop feeling only feels good for a second. You only get that woo for a minute, but when you keep woo and then woo, it's like the edible that's real cool for fun, but you tired of being high. Like sometimes that's kind of what that feels like. I don't be high anymore. Sometimes you just need to come down. And I think that's hard sometimes for people to grasp, especially for something as beautiful as being loved. And especially after you've shared that you've never been loved this well before. They're like, well, you said you want. Yeah, I know. But wait, that's it can be, you know, and I know for men especially that's hard because you all look for those checkpoints, and the better, the bigger, the more intense the love, I'm killing it, you know what I mean? But for in this particular, sometimes that is also, I think, the patience that's needing to be had. Yeah, it's gonna be a little more difficult for her to get used to this and those easy things that we think of for patience. But when it's hard for her to receive that kind of love at full or even half force sometimes, because that is so different. It's new, it's what we want, but baby steps sometimes. That's hard. That can be hard to express to a person who wants to love you.
That's hard.
That's what you wanted. You know what I mean? It's hard to hear, and imagine how hard it is to say, I don't want to mess this up. But I also don't know how to really process this, to do this, to respond to this. I don't know what this feels like. Because am I gonna overdo it? Am I gonna underdo it? Am I finna put myself out here? I've never been here before. Where everyone else has had their training wheel stage and all that, I have a view of expectation of supposed to be good at this, but I've never had this before. I'm playing dress up. And a lot of women are. We back to this soft conversation. There's an expectation of what this feminine, soft, willing, submissive, and yes, and okay, and like what she looks like, and where's she been? Where's she been able to show up? How's she been able to? How often has sis been able to come out and play? But who? Sis don't know. So like, and to be able to say that to someone who wants her. She has no friends. Who's she been playing with? Who are her friends to go ring around the rosy with? So like that, you got to be careful. You got to be patient in that way.
Yeah. Okay, you just helped me. Okay, all right. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Okay.
See, I had to earn it. You gave me my second preacher too soon. I had to make it worth it. I had to make it worth it.
Oh, you bring it on home. Bring it home. No, that was good. I think that's good because I think that we want to love well. I think we want to love well, and depending on what you're coming in with, to not hear the response that you want, that you killing it, hurts. Or not so much hurts, but harms, because now I can use me. I use me. I know that for me, I am, I'm the overachiever.
Yeah.
So we talked about the 1 to 10 thing. Like we were having a conversation, and she's like, "Yeah, we're talking about trust," and she's like, "Yeah, I think we're like I think she said 8, 8 on the trust thing." And I'm like, why not 10?
You're the B+ kid. You're the A kid and want to know where's my A+ at?
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, so what do we got to do to get to 10? Like, we're fine. Everything is great. No, then if we're great, then why is it not a 10? Like, so I know. In my mind, I'm like, so now what I learned about myself was now I had to realize that I had to understand. I had started going into like hyper mode like hyper mode because I want my 10.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 comes with
But then
time. 10 comes with
but I
time.
had to, but I had to understand, why was this so important to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
this-
You're
why was this important? Why was this
10.
right? Why was
'Cause you're-
this important to you? And I'm like, because I mean, like I was racking my brain.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Like maybe I just need to go out to more dinners. Like the other day, she said she
For
like,
trust win, more
Awesome.
food for trust. Maybe if I just feed her, let me just feed her some more.
this tacos always help.
I love you. Yeah, but no.
I'm just telling you, I thought maybe we need to go. Like she needs some dresses. Maybe I need some dresses.
Jesus Christ, superstar. That's it. That's it. Dresses. 10 dresses. 10 dresses will give me a 10. Not 4. Boy, get off the damn camera.
I'm like,
4.
nothing
do
is working. Okay, she says she want date days. All right, let's go. And then finally, I'm like, that's not how any of this works.
Nope.
First of all, and I didn't buy the dresses for me. I bought the dresses because she said she wanted stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm like, the reality was, I'm looking for something, and the thing I'm looking for, first of all, I can't get from her. And second, like you said, the thing that I'm looking for is something that happens with time.
Yeah.
And my fear was that I'm going to waste time trying to invest in somebody. And then at the end of it, what I'm doing is not good enough. And so how do I reconcile this idea that even my best effort is not good enough?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, so now you got to deal with you because this ain't got to do with her.
Yeah. Because Win is an overachiever, but Jamie and Win together are achieving more than most. Because to be at your level as far as time is concerned and what you all have accomplished in just that short amount of time, for her to say to you with full confidence and a reassurance that 8 is where she feels on a trust level.
Yeah.
I know folks who have done it 3 times as long and experienced probably 10 times the strife and would not get anywhere near an 8 on a trust scale. Yeah. So that you're right. And I'm glad that you have come to that understanding that, okay, this isn't so much rooted in us. Yeah, 10 is awesome. That's the goal. But I can be very, very happy and be fulfilled in my 8 because she's happy with this 8. It's not 8, but you could like we should also be at a 10. You know what I mean? It is 8. No, babe, 8 is good. Like, and we've got time. Like 8 is good, and I'm not going nowhere. Like 10 is very much attainable. 8 is good, and we're on track for 10. Like to have your woman say we're at 8 and on track for 10 is a good thing.
It's the epitome where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. All right. Good show.
Mm-hmm.
Good show. Mm-hmm. We skipped right through all the ads.
That's okay. We added good meat though, so it's all right. Y'all know where to go. EleganceByDesign.com. Some goodies. Some goodies. So you know, you could be popping out here like me, you know. I'll be the ad this week.
What they say, you draping.
Dripping.
Sorry, dripping, because I don't know.
You dating us, bro. You dating us out here. So we gotta keep up with the children. Gotta keep up.
I'm bald. I've been bald for a long time.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All right, final thoughts. What you got?
take a second and just take inventory of your true position in your situations and look at, I think, really take an inventory and this is the season of kind of right now. I giggle with Kelly. I don't know if she might catch back on later on and hear this, but this is real high key the season of for me. Like the things when I speak, it's thoughtful. I've had lots of time to weigh it out and mull it around a lot of time. And when I say it, it means something. But I'm spending a lot more time quiet, observant, noteworthy. And I think I'm benefiting from that. So my notes based on what we talked about tonight and some of the conversations that we had is try that. Honestly, there is a lot to be found in introspection. There's a lot of understanding to be found in just taking a thing and thinking it through. You don't have to talk it out. You don't have to write it out sometimes. Just bounce that thought back and forth. Think about if it were me, if I were them, if I had experience. Sometimes a mirror to a situation can help. Sometimes it can open you up in a way that you didn't see it before. And that's not cliche. It is a true when you just sit with that. Because when you just sit with it and you're quiet, you're not looking, you don't have anyone's expectation of your response. Like you can be wrong in your head in that silence and just sit with being wrong. Be like, damn. Okay, so now what? Nobody's accountable for that wrong finger wag in your head, but you still got that understanding. You didn't have to post that. You didn't have to comment that. You didn't have to drop that in somebody's DM for them to tell you, what like you didn't have to have that moment. So you have to stand up and defend this thing so bad. Like you could just go in sometimes. It's been doing wonders for me. And I just wanted to pass that along. I would not be your good cousin on the internet if I did not share that little tidbit with you too. Sometimes it's okay to bring it in.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. That's good. I'm going to share my final thoughts is going to be something. It's in line with something you posted, and when I saw you posted it, I laughed because I thought this is the same message I got last night. A lot of us are in a shift, and I need everyone to really take this shift serious, because this we talked about earlier about in that shift learning what to let go, but I think the big thing that we can take from this shift or get in this shift is learning what to hold on to.
Yes.
Learning who we are evolving and becoming, and grab a hold of that and become that with all of our energy, with all of our might, with all of our time, because this is the shift that turns from that turns really the not only your life, but turns potentially the generations to come after you.
Yes.
Because
Them
the
ripples
person
are real.
to now is the person who your community, who you need you to be, who your family, your community need you to become. So don't don't be afraid of it. Like, don't sit here, don't be like, I don't know if this is who I really am. And I'll even say this: if it feels attainable, it ain't it.
It's gotta scare the bejesus out of
It's gotta scare you so bad that you know it's got to be the divine that brings it into your life. So embrace it. A bit of trepidation is okay, but still do it. Do it afraid.
Get her
Do it
done.
unsure.
Mhm.
Do it not knowing the fourth, fifth, and sixth steps. Just the second, third step. Just know, however I got to get there, that thing right there that I see, that vision, that dream, that goal that I have. Now it's time to go get it. This is who I'm supposed to be. This is what I was born for.
Yeah.
That's the shift.
What did Reverend K. Dot say? We gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
You hear me?
Absolutely. Yep. So
And
that's
Matt,
my-
what if you win? What if you win?
you're going to win. That's
What
the
if
thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna win. You're
Damn.
going to win. You're gonna win. It's that simple. But listen, the fact that you decide you went after it is the win. Because when you decide, nothing can stop you. That's it. All right, y'all. Is there no, Mike? We have not come with this website yet. No. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good.
Good
We
night.
gonna get it.
You're right.
Maybe. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I got something to talk to you about too.
Oh.
So anyway.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, y'all.